We're joined via Skype by political analyst David Kitching. He's a former policy advisor at the Foundation for European Progressive Studies. David, thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Is the snap election really that much of a surprise? Although May's party only has a slim majority in Parliament's lower house of Commons, it is still a majority, so why do this?
Well, it felt like a surprise this morning, but overall it's not really a surprise, and I've wondered over time why she didn't call one earlier. In one sense, even for the most cautious of prime ministers, the lead that she has in the polls, even given all the provisos that Richard gave about the reliability of polling data, if the current polls were to come through, where the Conservative Party of Mrs May has 43% and Labour 25%, this would represent the greatest landslide victory for a Conservative Party since Margaret Thatcher's victory in 1983. So in a sense, Mrs May's calculations in this regard are entirely inward-looking. She sees also an opportunity to get some legitimacy and a mandate for the hard Brexit, because that option was never given in the referendum. People were just given the option of whether to remain in the EU or to leave it. But she has interpreted it as a hard Brexit. So a large Conservative majority in Theresa May's mind would represent an endorsement for this position.
So right, it's basically a referendum, I guess, if you will, on her vision for the hard Brexit. But why does she need this? She is the Prime Minister.
She doesn't need it from an external perspective, but from her point of view, she will need it internally. I think other EU leaders would prefer if she would wait until after the negotiations have concluded, so that the electorate at large could decide whether the finalised decision is a legitimate one. But from her point of view, she currently has a working majority of 17, and even for other types of legislation, I suppose she will want to have a personal mandate and not just be seen to have been the successor to David Cameron's majority.
What if she only receives a small Conservative victory?
Well, it's theoretically possible, but unlikely given polling data, even if we are sceptical about the accuracy of certain polls. Given an analysis, Mrs May would look at the UK overall, and when you look at the position of the Labour Party currently, where it's being attacked from the more Europhile centrist elements by a resurgent Liberal Democrat Party, and within the old industrial heartlands by the UK Independence Party, she's really in a very safe position, probably more so than any other Conservative Prime Minister in living memory.
Did last month's budget vote have anything to do with this? Was she thinking, if I can't pass the small tax on businesses, how will I have the political clout to get Brexit done on my own terms?
Undoubtedly, that would have come into her consideration. We all know that last year she said she wouldn't have another election before 2020. But when she can't get normal procedural issues through Parliament, and she's dealing with one of the greatest constitutional crises of our generation, she really will want to have a strong majority, even if it comes to no positive end for the UK overall.
David Kitching, thank you for joining us.